if you guys could have coffee with your younger self, yes, what would you tell a younger Nicole, Lara, Christina, Amanda, Melissa? Like what would that be that will set up that younger self for what you're doing now?
Find some boundaries.
Yeah. Yes.
I think young people have this energy and passion, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes we get a little too ambitious and we build ourselves into these routines that aren't sustainable and they're not healthy for us.
Yeah.
So, what I could do when I was single and didn't have to worry about balancing motherhood and kids and a husband and all of these things, like, it's just a different level.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that once you have different things going on in your life, you can't still do great things. But you also want to do it from a healthy place.
Yeah.
So I think establishing healthy routines and boundaries between work and family, that's what I would start with.
That's great.
I'm going to go opposite to that. Not that you don't still need to have good boundaries, but I would tell my younger self, hey, you're not going to have children and you're not going to be a mom. So you're going to find different ways to nurture people and to lead.
Yeah.
And it's going to be as effective and as fulfilling as you thought you would be as a mom. And so you find ways to have kids in your life and do things. You find ways to nurture people.
Yeah.
You find ways to be the team mom without being the mom.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because not everyone in the church understands a woman that doesn't have children.
Yeah.
And that's not always her choice, right?
Yeah.
And so finding that way to connect with other women beyond motherhood, this is a great way to do that. This is a great space where other women want to build each other up and, embrace that and be that role model and be that figure to someone who maybe didn't see herself in production or see herself in the role that she's in right now. You can be that person for anyone that you're around.
I love that. I love that, Melissa.
I think I would tell my younger self to find the community, find the support, find a mentor to help me through this journey. I had done production for 5 years prior to joining church production, and it was such a different world stepping into church production and just the different needs that ministry, has and all of the different impacts that it has on your life, and finding a great mentor, looking at Christina over here, was probably the best thing that I ever did for my career.
I love that. Lara? I think I kind of agree with Amanda. Not to steal that answer a little bit, but community has been such a game changer in my confidence and having Christina as a woman and as a leader, having that community where you can come together and just say, hey, here's where I really am. And here's what I'm really struggling with has been so valuable to my growth as a leader and just as a person. Yeah.
And I feel like a big part of that, finding, community with women in production has been through FILO.
Yeah.
I started in a women's FILO cohort, and I didn't realize how much I needed that until I actually did it.
Yeah. Nicole?
For me, I was blessed to have a lot of mentors in my life, and there were a lot of times when they would call something out in me or want to give me an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I would step into it, but I would step into it reluctantly. But they were seeing something in me that I was ready for something, or I was capable of more than what I expected or known to be true of myself. And so I think for my younger self, I would say, trust the people that God has put in your life.
Yeah.
That when they call out something in you, trust that the Holy Spirit is speaking through them and calling that out. Still doesn't mean that you're not going to maybe be hesitant or scared, but trust the process. Be willing to let them walk you through it. And don't maybe push up against it as much. I think that would be what I said, because a lot of great opportunities, but I think a lot of them I was like, nah, they don't really know what they're talking about. All right, I'll try it, but here we are.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think for me it will be
to not try to prove myself with everything I do. I think that was a big thing for me, even, I mean, from being a teenager in college and all of that, just trying to prove that I can handle it or that I can do it, or not wanting to ask too many questions because I don't want to look like I'm ignorant or I don't know what I'm doing. But in doing that, I lost a lot of opportunity to learn from some people that I had around, or to try something new and really stretch just the calling and what God has called me to do. And even now as an adult, I think for me to understand, my seasons are going to look different. And that's okay. And that doesn't mean that there's failure. That just means that God is doing something and I'm okay with it. So just teaching that to myself as every season, I feel like you have to learn something new, and that's a big part of it. But as we talk a little bit about like our younger selves, how do you lead the next generation of female production leaders that are coming in a way that they feel encouraged and they feel like there is room for them and they can step in and do any position they want to do? How do we create that environment for them?
For me, it's creating that culture with the guys that I truly believe are probably going to be in this role longer than I will, to be honest with you. I was listening to a breakout where they basically, I can't remember the wording, but it's like good leaders don't just create processes and build teams that where you need to be the person constantly leading the team or constantly leading the process. But like you've built something that even when you go, it lasts way longer than you. So I think as a leader, if you do a good job of building up the culture that you want, then the people are going to it's going to be like a domino effect, you know? So like right now with like the guys on my team, I've had somebody say to me, hey, do the guys that you work with, do they respect you? And I was actually thankful that I had that question asked me, and I said, absolutely. Because I've taken the time to build relationship with them, and they see how God's uniquely wired and gifted me to complement our team. And they cannot wait for more women to come into our team to see how God has uniquely wired and gifted them to add what they cannot add, right? So even like our volunteer producers, we've got a lot of women on our team who are volunteer producers, CG operators, camera operators. We've got a 13-year-old girl running camera in the back room. And then we had, I think, like a 9-year-old. Like all these kids, they just want to pop up and they want to do it. So pour into them. They get excited when they see the next generation coming in, let alone girls, because I think what they do, maybe my boys are just, I call my boys, maybe they're just like, I don't know. They call me work mom as well, okay? So I think they see me, they go, I want the next Nikki. Who's the next Nikki going to be, right? So I think if you build that kind of a culture with your team, it's going to be a domino effect. So long after I'm gone, whoever stays, the next person that they build into, I truly believe with all my heart that the Holy Spirit will just continue to work that through the team. But I think it starts with us doing a good job of creating that culture first.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and work with your, content creators and show women doing roles where they always show a man. Show an older person doing something in the tech world when they usually show younger people. Be diverse in all of that and let them see, not only when they see you in that spot when they're in the space, but as you're trying to engage and welcome new people to your space, maybe they don't feel like they fit in because they don't like to do the girly things, right? And we're seeing this like women in STEM is so important, and that extends beyond just the work that they're doing every day, but it's also the hobbies that they're interested in, and that hobby might lead to wanting to be in full-time ministry as a production manager, as a lighting director. They may not even know that that's an option, and so if we can build those hobbies when they're young and let them know that you can be interested in this and you can do this, then it just sets them up. It kind of creates that pipeline. If you don't think that your pipeline needs to start until you're looking at your career, you miss the whole start of your pipeline.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I love it, and I think it's, again, I go back to creating the space for them, because if the only thing they see is they see a guy production manager, then the guy audio engineer, then the guy lighting. Well, if I'm walking into a church and I'm trying to find a place to belong, a place where I can add value, that might not be my first option. If I see that maybe there's not a whole lot of excitement happening in the team and it's just the guys go in, do the thing, and maybe they hang amongst themselves and then they leave, well, that's not going to make me want to be a part of that. So even what you're saying, like placing those forward-facing positions and having girls of different ages do it. And one of the things that we experienced with culture, creating the culture within your team, is we had, when I first started, we had an audio engineer, brilliant. He was great, but he had never worked with a female production manager. And I'm very much I'm like the team mom. So I want to ask, I want to ask questions, and I want to know, like, what's your life like, and what do you need, and like, are you okay? Are you sick? And I'm gonna show you pictures of my kids, and that's just they're cute, and that's just what we're gonna do. And it was foreign. It was foreign for them that I wanted them to be part of my life, part of what we do, and it really took having the conversation of, hey, we're gonna spend a lot of time together. Like we're gonna be here early in the morning, we're gonna be here late, and we're all a team. So how can we do more than just life? Like, we're gonna do life. I wanna do more than just the ministry or the task. I wanna do life. And it's a foreign concept for a lot of them. And it comes from their culture, their family. So I think creating that baseline for them to know, okay, now when another girl comes, they're not awkward. They know, like, we're gonna come and we're all gonna hang out together and it's gonna be great. So yeah.
And I think too, if your church doesn't have that culture, you can be the one to steward that and make it happen. You can be the change that you want to see.
Yeah.